And I will bring again the captivity of my people of Israel. And they shall build the waste cities and inhabit them, and they shall plant vineyards and drink the wine thereof. They shall also make gardens and eat the fruit of them.
For the past 60 years, in times of crisis, in times of danger, the Jewish Agency, together with UJC, Keren HaYesod, JDC, and other partners, has been the Jewish world's first responder to save Jews, anytime, anywhere, and bring them home to Israel. Through heroic clandestine operations from Yemen and Ethiopia, from brutal war zones in Yugoslavia, Chechnya, and Georgia.
Directly following the Second World War, European Jews had tried desperately to gain entrance to Palestine, but were blocked by British restrictions. Many of these Jews were Holocaust survivors. They dreamed not just of refuge in the land of Israel, but of a secure life in a Jewish state. British surveillance of the Palestine coast was constant, though the British managed to keep many Jews out. They principally succeeded in making the Jewish refugees only more determined to reach the land they regarded as home.
Thus saith the Lord God, when I shall have gathered the house of Israel from the people among whom they are scattered, and shall be sanctified in them in the sight of the heathen, then shall they dwell in their land that I have given to my servant Jacob.
משפחה שלי פה, גם אני יהודי. בגלל זה אני באתי לפה.
But fear not thou, O my servant Jacob, and be not dismayed, O Israel. For behold, I will save thee from afar off, and thy seed from the land of their captivity. And Jacob shall return and be in rest and at ease, and none shall make him afraid.
Chang Lang, Chin Chin and Nina Wang, 3 Chinese Jewish women living in Israel, were waiting in the arrivals hall of Ben Gurion International Airport for 7 of their friends who were making Aliyah from China. Chang Lang went through the same experience 3.5 years ago. They all share the same origins. They are all the descendants of the Jewish community of Kaifeng in China, which existed for 1,000 years, dating back to the 8th or 9th century.
But then a process of assimilation and intermarriage began, and essentially in the 19th century the community ceased to exist as a collective entity. The remnants of that community made great efforts to try and preserve their Jewish consciousness and Jewish identity. They passed that down from generation to generation, and in recent years more and more young people among the descendants in Kaifeng are looking to reconnect with their Jewish roots.
When did you find out about your Jewish background?
Many years ago, about 10 years, because my grandpa always my grandpa knows he's a Jew, and he do something about Jews. So when I was little, I know I was a Jew.
Very exciting, very happy, because we'll go home.
Greeted by a festive welcoming ceremony featuring dancing, Torah scrolls, top Israeli leaders, and of course some shofar blowing. The flight was the 5th and final chartered plane load of new immigrants this summer, organized by Nefesh B'Nefesh, an organization which facilitates Aliyah from North America and England. Over the course of the summer, Nefesh B'Nefesh has brought over 2,000 North American and British immigrants to Israel.
Therefore, behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that they shall no more say, The Lord liveth, which brought up the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt. But, The Lord liveth, which brought up and which led the seed of the house of Israel out of the north country, and from all countries whither I had driven them. And they shall dwell in their own land.
And in the USSR, a Jewish national revival began. In the 70s, the international protests and demonstrations began to bear fruit and bring about the loosening of the noose. Working behind the scenes, the Jewish Agency facilitated the immigration of tens of thousands of Jews, bringing them home to Israel. And during the 90s, Jewish Agency offices were established throughout the vast FSU, working around the clock to bring more than 1 million Jews home.
About 200 Iranian Jews have been brought to Israel this year.
For us, we're both religious Jews, we're modern Orthodox Jews, we are Zionist Jews. It was always something that was an aspiration for us, that we wanted to go and find our place with the rest of the Jewish people in the Jewish homeland. Anti-Semitism has been, unfortunately, an ever-present constant in my life. And so whether it's been insults, abuse, muggings, being pelted with eggs, having cans thrown at me, having people laugh, having people stare, point. You know, as British as I have always felt and as integrated as I've been here, there's just been this underlying notion that I'm not welcome here. And that's been very hard. That has been very hard.
Since 1948, 30,000 British individuals have resettled in Israel.
I will gather them that are sorrowful for the solemn assembly, who are of thee, to whom the reproach of it was a burden. Behold, at that time I will undo all that afflict thee, and I will save her that halteth, and gather her that was driven out, and I will get them praise and fame in every land where they have been put to shame. At that time will I bring you again, even in the time that I gather you. For I will make you a name and a praise among all people of the earth, when I turn back your captivity before your eyes, saith the Lord.